We've got Enes Kanter here with us from the Orlando bubble. You've been in the midst of this great playoff series with the Toronto Raptors. Thanks for joining us here on CNBC.
Thank you for the invite.
So we know there's been a big push for social justice reform among the NBA, especially among the players. Talk about the message that's on your jersey, why you chose it, and some of the initiatives that you and the Celtics are working on.
I mean, first of all, coming to this bubble, we knew that basketball is a second priority. You know, there are right now, if you look at our world and our country, there are bigger things happening than sports. So that's why I feel like, you know, just coming here, not just play basketball, but same time use our platform to inspire as many people we can. We know it was very important. And, you know, NBA came up with this idea that put in, you know, some of the words that inspire all of us, and I choose to put freedom. I mean, the reason I put freedom because, you know, problems are just not just happening in our country here or Turkey, my country, but problems are happening throughout the whole world, you know, and there are people are fighting for their rights and their freedom throughout the whole world. So my jersey, the freedom was representing those people and countries. And I think you see some of the words is freedom, equality, how many more, or Black Lives Matter. And I think to me it was very, very important because it was not just for us, it was for the kids out there to be waiting to be inspired.
What is it like for you? Because obviously, you know, you're an immigrant, you come from a different country, but you're here,
Right.
You're working in America. In a way, it's like, you know, you're part of this movement of players that are from such diverse backgrounds, and you're part of that diversity. We know you and Taco Fall months ago were getting intimidated outside of mosques. So your background's different, right? It's not like everyone else's. So what is that? Has that been a challenge for you? Has that been an advantage for you in terms of getting that voice out there and trying to make positive change?
I mean, it's one thing about NBA, just and especially about my teammates. Every time, you know, we out there, we talk about our differences, and we leave them in a locker room and try to go out there and play and talk basketball. And you know, obviously, just because of I'm not from here, I did not grow up in America. Of course, obviously, I ask them lots of questions about what's happening, because some of the things are happening in America. It already happened in, you know, the Turkey. So I know what is it like to fight for, you know, freedom and justice. And that's why every time we're in a training room, every time we're in a locker room, we get to, you know, so many conversations bigger than the basketball. But I think, you know, one thing we're already asking the same thing is we demand change and justice. And I think one thing, one of the biggest reason I'll say we are fighting so hard, so because of our kids and our grandkids. So we hope that when they grow up, they won't have the same problems we are having right now, and they treated equally. And which is the same thing, you know, Dr. King was preaching and fighting for. And you know, we always say with my teammates, you know, racism is taught. It's not something that you just born with. So that's why, you know, we said it like, listen, let's, you know, just use our platform and just go out there and see what we can do.
It feels like you're fighting battles on multiple continents. So you've got your push here in America, and then there's everything going on in Turkey. I know a lot of the audience is aware of, let's say, you know, difference of opinion that you have, your way of looking at the world versus the Turkish government. Obviously, your father got, you know, arrested for that, was released from jail. What has that been like for you to be away from your family, but feel like maybe you can't protect them? Maybe your voice gets them in trouble, but it's important to still have that voice. Turkey doesn't give the same freedoms as America. How do you balance it? That's got to be so stressful.
I mean, one thing about Turkey, you know, so I'll just start with this. You know, me and my teammates always sit down and have these conversations, and they always asking me one question: are you crazy? Because they're like, listen, you're an NBA player, right? Just play basketball, keep your mouth shut, and make your millions. Why are you talking about these issues? Because your family's still back in Turkey. But people don't understand, you know, my family's only one. And there are so many families and people out there, their situation is way worse than mine. So I always tell them, like, listen, I am not crazy. I just have to use my platform to be voice of all those innocent people out there who don't have voice. You look at Turkey right now, there are so many political prisoners and journalists are in the jail. And Turkey actually #1 country in the world that put the most journalists in the jail. So I always tell them, listen, I'm not a politician, I'm not a journalist. This is my second language. Some of the words I use is like that I never used in my life before. So I feel like I have to stand up for what's right. I have to stand up for freedom and democracy.
You're using your platform, I mean, in a way, because there's not a lot of Turkish people in America that Americans know about. Because you're in the NBA, they know your story, they know you're from Turkey, and they hear what you have to say. And how important is it for you to make sure, hey, that I'm still playing well, that I'm still getting, free agent deals, and I'm on a roster, and that I'm making a contribution so that my voice matters? Because all of a sudden, you might not be in the NBA. Maybe the platform doesn't have as much value. So how important is it for you to make sure you're still delivering on the court to be able to still tell that story?
That's the one thing I always tell my coaches, and because they get worried about it so much, because when they hear about all those conversations, they're like, are you okay? Are you going to be able to practice or play a game? But I always tell them, like, listen, basketball is my escape. Whenever I step on the court, it's all about me, my teammates, fans, going out there trying to get a win. Try to have fun with my teammates. And as soon as I left the court, it's like the war begins. What questions comes to my mind? What can I do to, bring more awareness? What can I do to help all those innocent people in jail right now? So I feel like, basketball is definitely helping me getting through this time. And like you said, listen, basketball is a God's gift. It's giving me this huge platform to talk about whatever I want to talk about. So that's why I'm definitely blessed to be in this situation.
Do you think that's also why after those 3 days where the NBA kind of shut down a little bit there in the bubble, that players realize, hey, we need to get back on the court, and then on platform to continue? Like right now, you're in the playoffs right now, so we're having this conversation. If they just shut the season down and everybody went home, maybe they can try to help, but all of a sudden they don't have that platform.
When we had that big meeting with, the NBA players, one of the biggest things that we talk about, listen, I understand everybody's homesick. Everyone wants to go home, want to see their kids, see their families, and their wives and stuff, their mom and dads. But we promised each other that we are going to keep the topics going. We are going to keep the conversations going. We are going to inspire as many people we can. If we decided to say, okay, everybody's going home, there's no season, then all the kids will be like, even the NBA are just shutting down, and how am I gonna be inspired? So I feel like, the reason we wanted to get back into court, not just basketball. We wanted to get back out there for the people who's willing to be inspired.
Enes, we appreciate the time here with us on CNBC. You've been playing great. Good luck the rest of the playoffs. We'll see how far you can take it.